Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's topic. Today, our topic is Ranga's marriage, which is from the book Snapshot for Class 11. As the title is very suggestive, the story is all about Ranga's marriage. How the narrator very cleverly got Ranga married to Ratna, what happened, what did the narrator do, everything has been discussed in details. The events which have not been discussed in the plot have been dealt with in the question answer section. The narrator tells us about an incident which happened 10 years back when the village accountant had sent his son Ranga to Bangalore for his studies. The situation in the village was very different then. People never used English words while talking in their native language, which is Kannada, which was their mother tongue. But things gradually changed, and people started using and mixing English with the local language, which was disliked by the narrator. People had this great fondness for foreign language, which is English, and they had high regards for anyone who was educated. And that's why when Ranga came back to his village after finishing his education at Bangalore, it became a big affair. People gathered in front of his house to see if he had changed, or education or city life had brought any change in him. And they returned back home on finding no significant change in Ranga. The narrator is also very particularly happy because finds the boy Ranga still cultured, as he very respectfully did the namaskara by touching the feet of the narrator. And the narrator also very spontaneously blessed Ranga, saying that may you get married soon. Though the narrator blessed Ranga that he may get married soon, but Ranga is not interested in marriage at this point of time. He feels he is not ready for marriage, and he has this opinion that one should better remain a bachelor than marry a young girl, as is a very custom of the village. The narrator is very disappointed to hear this, but as he sincerely wants Ranga to get married and settled, because he feels that Ranga could be of great service to the society. And though he comes to know that Ranga doesn't want to get married, he still doesn't lose heart. He takes an oath that he would get Ranga married, and for that he starts looking for a girl, and he finds a young girl of 11 named Ratna, who is Rama Rao's niece and who had come to stay in their village Hoshahali. The narrator feels Ratna is the best match for Ranga by all means. Though Ranga is not very keen on getting married, but yet the narrator plans to make the prospective bride and the bridegroom meet each other, which is make Ranga meet Ratna. So he does. So he goes on to ask Rama Rao's wife to send Ratna to his house to fetch buttermilk. And when Ratna arrived, uh, he asked her to sing. And as he had planned that very moment, Ranga arrives, and listening to Ratna's singing and her voice, he gets mesmerized, and he instantly falls in love with her, uh, unaware of the plans of the narrator. Also, though he had not thought of getting married to a very young girl, yet he falls in love with a 11-year-old girl. And the narrator, from his experience, he notices it that Ranga is having this liking for Ratna, and as per his plan he tells Ranga that Ratna is already married, which disappoints Ranga a lot. The very next morning, the narrator he plans with Shastri, who is the fortune teller, and they plan to trap Ranga and have him marry Ratna. He very well tutored Shastri what he would say and what was done when he brought Ranga to him. And then the narrator finds Ranga feeling miserable that day. Ranga complains that he had headache, and the narrator suggests that they should visit Shastri, who is a fortune teller. And then Ranga is taken to Shastri very cleverly by the narrator. And during their visit, it was shown that it was a surprise visit, though this visit was well planned. The narrator acts foolishly, forgetting what he's supposed to say, but Shastri cleverly manages the scene and he tells him that you have not visited me for a very long time. Everything goes well as per the plan of the narrator. Shyama, who is the narrator who reveals his name, he asks Shastri what could be the reason of worry for Ranga, and Shastri he very well calculates and then suggests that he is worried about a girl. And on further calculation, he suggests that the girl's name has connection with something that is found in the ocean. And the narrator gives his suggestions like it could be Kamala or it could be Pachi, which means moss. And then Shastri very smartly hints that it's a pearl or Ratna. And listening to the word Ratna, the narrator jumps up and says that it is the name of Ramarao's niece. And then the narrator further goes on asking Shastri that could it be possible that they get married to each other and this negotiations of marriage could bear any fruit, to which Shastri gives a very affirmative answer. But again, when Ranga was getting hopeful about his marriage with Ratna, the narrator reminded him of the fact that Ratna was already married, which again disappoints Ranga. The narrator seems to be a very smart planner, and while they were coming back, the narrator enters Ramarao's house and comes out of the house to inform Ranga that Ratna was unmarried and the previous information that he had received about her marriage was wrong. And listening to this information that Ratna is unmarried, Ranga's joys have no limit. He becomes extremely happy because now he could get married to her. And when the narrator asked him, Ranga, whether whatever the astrologer said was true about his thinking about Ratna, Ranga he admits that it was true and also says that he was in love with Ratna. And then later on that day, the narrator visits Shastri the astrologer, and he tells him how their plan has been a success, and he also very sarcastically comments about astrology, which infuriates Shastri, who says that even if he would have not given him hints, he could have very well calculated and told the reason of Ranga's displeasure, discomfort. So all the planning that narrator did himself and in association with Shastri, it bears fruit, and finally Ranga gets married to Ratna, and they have two children. Moreover, Ratna is also pregnant for the third time, and it's her 8th month of pregnancy. And the narrator has invited to the third birth anniversary of Ranga's child, whom they have named after the narrator. They have named their child Shyama. And on finding this, the narrator he scolds and tells Ranga that how it is a very foreign custom of naming your children after someone whom you like. And he said that it's very interesting to find how Ranga forgets what he learned about happy marriages in cities and gives into far deeper influences the village custom and traditions have on him. Let's quickly discuss few important short answer type questions from this chapter. The narrator has not given any mouth-filling title like Jagannatha's Vijay or Girija Kalyana because this is not about them. This is about a very common boy, Ranga, who is the accountant's son and a native of their village, Hoshahali. Hoshahali village is the scene of action. Everything in the chapter takes place in this village. It has not been mentioned in the geography books, which has been written by the English sahibs or the Indian writers. The cartographers who make the map have also not put it on the map of India. The narrator highlights the importance of Hoshahali by comparing it to the filling of Karigadulu, which is a festive meal. He feels Hoshahali is a very important village. There are some mango trees in the village which happen to taste, if one happens to taste a raw mango from one of them, one will have an extreme sourness in the throat. And the second distinctive feature is a creeper which grows in the pond. Uh, and if one has only two leaves of the creeper while taking bath in the pond, you need not take the afternoon meal. It will be so filling. Once narrator himself took a raw mango home and the chutney was prepared. The whole family tasted it, and after that they suffered from severe cough, and the narrator had to go to the doctor to get the cough medicine. The narrator doesn't not approve of bringing English words while talking in one's mother tongue. He considers it's disgraceful, and moreover it creates confusion if the other person doesn't know English. 10 years ago, there were not many people in his village who knew English. The village accountant was the first one to send his son Ranga to Bangalore to pursue his studies. It was quite an important event then because rarely people left the village to get education. The narrator highlights it by saying that the village accountant had enough courage to send his son to Bangalore. One day Ramarao bought a bundle of firewood from a woman. His son came out to pay for it. He asked the woman how much he should give her, and the woman demanded 4 paisa. The boy said that he did not have any change and asked the woman to come the next day. The poor woman didn't understand the English word change. She just went away muttering to herself. During the British rule, hundreds of persons were kept inside a single room. The next morning, most of them were found dead due to suffocation. The narrator uses this expression, Black Hole of Calcutta, to suggest the large number of people who had turned out to see Ranga after he returned from Bangalore. Ranga greeted the narrator with full devotion. He not only folded his hands but also bent low to touch his feet. The narrator feels that if it would have been a present day boy, he would have stood stiff like a pole without joints and keep his head towards the sun and jerk his body as if it were either a hand or a walking stick. But the narrator, who is an old fashioned, did not approve of the present boy wishing. When the narrator greeted Ranga, he came near him, did the namaskara respectfully in a very traditional manner by bending low and touching his feet. This made the narrator feel that Ranga was a well-behaved boy who knew how to respect his elders, and even though he had stayed in the city, he had not forgotten his traditional values. The narrator felt Ranga to be a generous and considerate fellow, and he thought that Ranga would be a fine thing to. He would be very good to get him married and settle down and be of service to the society. But he was very distressed when he came to know that Ranga was not very much interested in getting married and wanted to remain a bachelor. Ranga did not believe in arranged marriages. He thought that one should marry a girl he admires, and second reason was he one should marry a girl who is more mature, who can handle things on her own. Since it was difficult to find the right girl, so he had decided to remain a bachelor. Ranga did not plan to get married at an early age. He wanted to find the right girl. He felt the girl should be mature enough to understand his love talks. And secondly, he wished to marry a girl whom he admired. He was also very against marrying young girls who had no manners or who were not very careful of their face and their figure and who could not manage the house and family on their own. Ratna stopped singing on seeing a stranger outside their room and listening to her singing. Ranga also felt disappointment when the singing stopped. Ratna stood at a distance with her head lowered. Ranga repetitively glanced at her. He blamed himself for the singing to stop, and he offered to leave, but though he did not move, and Ratna was also overcome by shyness and she ran inside. Also, after this, Ranga inquired about her. The narrator was a frequent visitor to Ramarao's house, and Ratna was quite free with him. One day he went to their house and he asked Ramarao's wife that he would send some buttermilk for her and asked to send Ratna to fetch it. When Ratna came, he requested her to sing. In the same time, he had sent buttermilk for Ranga. Thus, the narrator managed to bring them together and made them have a glimpse of each other. When Ranga reached the narrator's house, Ratna was singing a song. Ranga stood at the door, spellbound. He was completely mesmerized by her singing. Seeing a stranger there, Ratna abruptly stopped singing. There were signs of disappointment on Ranga's face when the singing stopped suddenly. Ranga, as we saw earlier in the chapter, had decided not to get married at an early age. But one day, when he went to the narrator's house, he stopped at the threshold as he heard Ratna singing. He was enchanted by her and kept glancing at her. Also, after meeting Ratna and knowing that she was already married, Ranga was very uh, uncomfortable and sad, and it seemed that he was ill. Ranga asked the narrator very curiously as to who that girl was who was singing, and the narrator wanted to know the mind of Ranga, whether he was serious about Ratna and whether he liked her. So he just randomly told a lie that she was married a year ago. On hearing this, Ranga's face changed color, and the narrator was convinced that Ranga had genuine interest in the girl Ratna. The narrator arranged the meeting very systematically and smartly. He first called Ratna on the pretext of sending buttermilk, and then he asked her to sing a song. And at the same time, he also called Ranga. And when Ranga reached his threshold, he could hear the singing. He became very curious to see the singer and peeped in. His presence at the door blocked the light, and Ratna stopped singing abruptly, seeing a stranger listening to her. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this video was helpful in enhancing your understanding of the chapter Ranga's marriage.